Hi guys. So sorry, as you can see, my camera is over here and my screen is over there. I promise I'm paying attention. I promise. Um, Great work, everybody. I just finished up looking through your micro market worksheets. I do owe a few of you some more grades. So if you haven't gotten feedback, don't worry. It's coming. I like to think on it and make sure that I give you guys my full attention and really give a lot of feedback. So for those of you who have gotten feedback, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who need feedback, it's okay, it's coming. But as I was going through your assignments, your micro market, I was thinking about my assignment when I did this. So I did this very assignment when I got my master's degree. It was a lot more intensive, of course. We did a lot more things, like we had to develop marketing plans instead of just identifying our micro market, but functionally the assignment was the same. We developed a concept and we worked it all the way through. And at the end of the semester, we presented in front of investors. Sorry, I'm a wiggly human. If you hadn't figured out, I have lots of wiggly energy. So it functionally, the course was exactly the same as the course that you're going through. We did the same things. We did our market assessment. We did our industry assessment. We did financials. We did business model, all of the same things that you guys are working through. I was looking through your guys' micro market and I was reminded about mine. And I thought that it might be helpful for you guys if I talked a little bit about my project and what my team, I was on a group with 3 other people, what my team and I worked through for our capstone. So spoilers, I want to give you the finale because as I talk about it, it's going to sound a little bit weird. So we did get 300,000 in imaginary funding. We also got an invitation from an investment firm to go and pitch to the firm directly based off of the work that we did. So we got a happy ending out of this. Let me tell you about our concept. It was called Fingers in the Ground. And it was around gardening boxes and psychosocial support for people living in skilled and assisted living facilities. So to get to this concept and to get to where this was really, really good, our basic premise was that we were seeing a rise in adult living facilities, job postings for entertainment and activities managers. So we were really thinking about, okay, if we are seeing this rise in job postings, it means that there's a need out there somewhere. So when we really dug into it, we started looking at the needs. And when we were really looking at the needs, we identified that people who live in assisted and skilled adult facilities, assisted living and skilled nursing adult facilities suffered from boredom. So when we were looking at why does boredom matter? So now we're thinking about, so let me break this down for you. I've given you my concept. We were looking at an adult entertainment. Ooh, that sounds wrong. Adult activity. So my concept is adult activity. It's going to be gardening based. And we've talked a little bit about the pain, and the pain is that you have this boredom, but boredom isn't good enough to really be compelling. So we started digging into why does it matter whether or not you're bored? And it's an interesting question, right? Because we all suffer from boredom. So why does it matter? So as part of our research, we looked at the psychological aspects of aging. So boredom equates to a form of aging. And when we're really thinking about, okay, what is the pain that we're trying to resolve? What is the mundane experience that we're looking to overcome? We identified that there are 3 aspects that cause people to psychologically age. The first one is a loss of autonomy. So this is the ability to make choices for your own, to have self-agency. The other one is a lack of independence. So this is now being able to do things for yourself. So when we think about the lack of independence, we're now bringing someone in to help us take our medications when we used to be able to take our medications. So autonomy is the ability to make decisions for yourself. Independence is the ability to do things for yourself. And the last aspect to psychological aging for our elderly population is a lack of a sense of purpose. So what the research out there showed is that when people lose these things, they start to psychologically age and decline much faster than people who have these things. So remember, independence, autonomy, and purpose, very important. So we have now looked at some of the psychosocial motivations for what we believe to be our population, our target customers. Pay attention to that. So we're thinking about what are products that we can offer that would give people a sense of independence, autonomy, and ownership, purpose. And we're thinking about, okay, well, there are a lot of skilled facilities out there that are doing pets, like you can keep little birds and that sort of thing. But then, so we saw a rise in that, and then we saw a drop in that. So this is going to be some of that market risk. So there was a solution, keeping small pets, and then there was a drop. And they found that the drop was due to allergies, facility staff not taking care of the pets, because we do have to grapple with, there is truly a lack of independence that if you are not well, your facility staff will need to take care of your pet bird or whatever. So we saw a spike and we saw a drop, and that's going to be part of our market risk, right? Our micro market risk. What is going on? So what we came up with is garden boxes. So you would get soil, seeds, some instructions on how to take care of it, and also engagement piece. So a training that has to do with the psychological aspects of aging. Who's going to buy this for themselves? Like our target customer and our target user were different people. So this is really important. Like, I'm not going to be hanging out in a facility like, I'm bored, I'm going to buy a plant. The people who are going to buy this are the family members and the facility staff who are watching the decline in their residents. Because if you have psychological aging, you start seeing a shortened time because people start to age quicker. You see a decline in your residents. So our target customer was actually family members and facilities rather than the users of our product themselves, which is why we added this aspect of psychological training and support for family members and facility members. And these are the ways that you can identify signs of psychological aging. These are the things that you can do to help mitigate it. Here's where you use this kind of plant idea to develop a sense of purpose. You as the resident are responsible for the care and well-being of this plant. You as the resident get to make the decisions. Does it live in the sunshine? Does it live in the shade? Do we water it today? Don't we water it today? And then depending on where you are in the independence scale, you get to take care of these things on your own. So they addressed those three aspects of psychological aging for the parties that are more impacted by the aspects of what does it mean when they age. Two customer sets. One, loved ones. You don't want to see your loved one aging and declining. So you have that motivation. Two, facilities. You don't want to see your population dying because there is a financial impact that goes along with your population, and you start thinking about turnover, and you start thinking about outcomes and whether or not you have falls and how many staff members you need and all of these sorts of things. They're driven by the aging process of the residents and the population. So we're going to start with your worksheet and we're going to go top to bottom. The value proposition that we had is that we were providing a service that slowed the psychological aging of residents. The pain that we were trying to resolve is things like accessibility and availability. So whether or not your residents would be able to do these things, does this offset the lack of activities? Does this offset the lack of pets? That sort of thing. So then when we start looking at our customer demographics, we have to think about, while we understand what the need we're filling is, our customers, what motivates them? How much are they willing to pay for it? Where do they live? I mean, we know that they're in a skilled living facility, but are our customers long distance? Are they family members who can't visit every day? Are they family members who do visit every day and would like to do these activities with their loved ones? Start thinking about price point. Are facilities willing to provide this as part of their service? Then we are going to want to start thinking about what makes us different. They have activities directors, they have entertainment, they do all of these things. Why this over any of the other options? And now we're going to start thinking about how do we know this is a need, which is one of the areas that you guys will learn even in more as we go through this course, is really pulling the evidence together. Our evidence was very specific because we were looking at aging, we were looking at the aging population, we were looking at skilled facilities. So when we start to break down what exactly is the need, we got very, very specific. And then when we started talking about market trends, people staying at home, people not staying at home, family involvement, no family involvement, rising cost of facilities. We talked a little bit about pets. All of these things became things that we needed to think about as we were doing our micro market analysis. Something that would serve you well to keep in mind, advice I got 2 points of advice from a marketing professor that have served me amazingly well. So the first point of the advice is when you're thinking about entrepreneurial concepts, you want to be, and I quote, niche till you itch. So you want to be so specific that you're like, oh God, let me out. I want to do a little bit more, because when you are that specific, you can tailor your value proposition. You land those people, you get the skilled nursing who are ready to do planting plants and doing worksheets, and then you can grow. But if you try to be everything to everyone, you're never going to have a compelling value proposition, because that's what it is. What can I do for you? What problem am I solving? What need am I filling? Our need had to do with psychological aging. The other thing is I want to caution you guys about price differentiation. Cost leader certainly has a place in the industry, in any industry, in any market. Cost leader is a thing. I mean, sometimes people buy Toyota Corollas, but also sometimes people buy Hyundais, or sometimes they buy Teslas or Tahoes, or all of these sorts of things where cost isn't the only driver. So the other thing that this marketing professor told me is nothing is expensive if it's worth the value. Right. So people will spend $100,000 on a car if they perceive the value. People will spend $20,000 on a car if the value is their car payment. So another thing to think about as you are starting to understand who your market is, and as you are finalizing your worksheet, like what you guys all bring together, think about the difference between the person who buys the Toyota Corolla, the Tesla, and the Tahoe. They're all cars. They all functionally serve the same purpose. They get you from point A to point B. But those are three very, very different customer sets, ideal customers. So I'll get the rest of your feedback out. I just wanted to share with you. Think super specific, do lots and lots of homework, really understand what are the problems, what you can do, and that will help you be successful throughout the rest of this course.